Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are here for the fourth round of the Clio Cup here for Season 10 on Project Cars 2 here on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. As you will probably recognise if you're an avid fan of F1 and motorsports in general, you'll realise that we are in the Principality of Monaco in Monte Carlo for what's technically the Monaco Grand Prix of the Clio Cup, if you can call it that. But we're here tonight for, as I said before, the fourth round of the season, races 7 and 8 of this Clio Cup season. We've been here 3 times previously in the Motive Clio Cup. So this is the 4th time that we've raced here, actually, since Motive has began. And there's a few drivers here who have raced with us here at Monaco before, when we've raced in the Clio Cup, who will know probably what they're doing around here. John Boy, Jay, the 2 that spring to mind very quickly. Charlie Goff, I think, Smokey have also been around here before, and so has DJ Phil. There's a few drivers who have been around here, but it'll be a very tricky evening for a lot of these drivers. It's going to be an uncompromising set of conditions here, but we're very much looking forward to seeing what goes on tonight. And my name's Amity, as you probably recognise, and I'm joined in the box tonight by my usual partner in crime in the commentary box. That is Ryan Ruby. Ryan, welcome along, mate.
Hello, mate. It's the first time commentating at the Monaco Grand Prix, so it's going to be entertaining, hopefully.
Indeed, we hope so. We're coming towards the end of this qualifying session at the moment. John Boy is setting a blistering pace out the front. At 1:45.5 is his current personal best. So he's been putting in the practice here over the last week, clearly, as we can see Jay coming up towards the line. And WSRCJ doesn't improve on P4, so John Boy taking a resounding pole position there by 0.8 of a second to Cobb. Although having said that, Cobb's just improved a little bit, so he's got within 0.6 of a second now of John Boy. But Lightblade in third, 0.8 off of the pole time in third place, as we said. WSRCJ fourth, 1.2 seconds off of the pace. You got Ricky in fifth place, actually doing a really good job considering he's a late fill-in for tonight. John Boy's going to try and go even quicker here, though, as he's coming through the final few corners. Can he extend that margin, get into the low 1:45s? He is flying around Monte Carlo here tonight. Out of Anthony Noakes he comes, and up towards the line. What can John Boy do? Can he go even quicker here, as he's now going to finish his lap for the final time in this session? He does improve by 0.2, so he goes even quicker there into the 1:45.3s. I think everybody else is done. Cobb has finished his lap. Ricky P is on his final run of the session. I think Jay crossed the line too late. It's saying he's not done, but I think he crossed the line too late. That, I think, is going to be that then for the qualifying, unless there's anybody else without on the lap. No, there isn't. So that is that. And it is going to be John Boy on pole position. And he's got quite a gap there. Look at that first sector. 0.6 quicker than our P2 man Cobb in one sector. It's really the first sector where John Boy's got it hooked up. Everywhere else, he's got a slight edge. He's not actually even the quickest in the final sector. Lightblade's the quickest in the final sector, although John Boy is the quickest in the middle sector. But the first sector, he is flying. And right, John Boy's going to be a real tough proposition to beat tonight by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just watching John Boy's lap from Nouvelle Chicane, and he was up by 0.6 of a second. Obviously, we had, I think it was Charlie or Connor that was in front of him. I think it might have been Charlie. And he made a couple of mistakes, so it slowed John Boy down, and John Boy could have gone and set at 1:44.
Could have been even more menacing there from John Boy, so that could be a sign of things to come here in this sprint race. But we've got 20 minutes of Monaco here for this first race of the evening. Then we'll have an additional qualifying session, which will set the grid for. We'll have a reverse grid. I do apologise. A reverse grid based on the results of this sprint race, which will then we do a manual formation lap at the start of the feature race, and that will be our grid with a mandatory pit stop as well for the second race. But for this first race, there is no mandatory pit stop. But we've got 13 drivers out on the grid tonight. Unfortunately, Mike Gaming will not line up for this first race as he disconnected in the qualifying session, which is a shame, obviously, there, because he's been really strong in these Clios so far this season, and he's a big contender on Friday night for the GT5 Ginetta Cup, so he'll be glad that he didn't get disconnected in that league, and then it happened tonight. But here we are, the lights coming on now at the head of the grid. We're about to go racing here at Monte Carlo, and it is lights out and away we go. John Boy gets away well. Cobb not so well. Is going to have to defend from Lightblade up towards Sandoval. As looking in the background, I think you've got Jay there just behind Lightblade at the moment, all fighting through Sandoval as Ricky there running just ahead of Park Pooper and Charlie. Charlie and Park Pooper were side by side. Park Pooper's managed to keep onto that P6 there. Up the hill they come for the first time, as we can see Cobb coming under pressure from Lightblade. Lightblade's got ahead of him there up into second place. Cobb has lost out to Lightblade and Jay, and Cobb down to P4 on this first lap, so it's not gone to plan at all for Jay in these first few corners. Ricky ahead of Park Pooper, followed by Charlie. Then you've got Connor ahead of Smokey, ahead of Deku in 10th place, followed by Avo Afonso, DJ Phil, and Ozzy Albi running at the back in P13. Has not had the opening first sector of this lap. Ozzy Albi is well off at the back of them, but John Boy, Lightblade, Jay ahead of Cobb. And you can see there Charlie very late on the brakes as he just tabbed Park Pooper in the rear there, as Smokey's there around the trying to get around the outside of Connor, but couldn't do it coming up through Portier. But John Boy's already opened up a 1.7 second gap here, and Ryan, he's looking like a man on a mission tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got the championship rivals. I mean, Lightblade's leading the championship by 7 points, so he needs to get as many points as possible. I mean, a win here is 5 points extra to than what. Oh, Jade and Colbert just made contact.
Yeah, they did. So Jay, they're trying to squeeze down the inside here of Cobb, but Cobb's got that going into the back, and Park Pooper now trying to get involved. We see Park Pooper holding on from Charlie. They're coming through the harbour chicane in towards the swimming pool they come. Lightblade's just gained a bit on John Boy over the course of this lap. The gap's down to 1.3. It was 1.7 obviously at the end of the first lap. But now Cobb is trying to get back onto Jay a bit. Park Pooper is really close with Cobb. Park Pooper trying to defend there from Charlie Goff in towards Anthony Noakes as they come through for the end of the first lap bit. But obviously John Boy had opened up a 1.7 second gap halfway round the lap coming into Portier. And now Lightblade's closed up a little bit over the second part of that first lap. But these two are already well clear of Jay running in third place. Jay's got about a second back to Cobb now, as Charlie's stood on the back of Park Pooper. You've got Ricky there running in 7th place, racing as a late stand-in here tonight. On the back of Charlie, you've got Ricky now really looking to the inside. Cobb, though, swirling around a little bit there as he's trying to stave off the charge here of Park Pooper Rex. Connor there running just ahead of Deku, just behind Smokey Devil at this point, as we see Mike trying to get in the session, but he can't get in as the race is already underway. And it's a shame to have obviously lost him so early on tonight. But the gap between John Boy and Lightblade staying at 1.3. So John Boy managed to get the ascendancy in the early part of the race, but now that they've settled in and they've got the tied up the temperature, Lightblade is matching him at this point. So it looks like John Boy could certainly have a bit of opposition here in this race. He's not going to be able to get it all his own way, that's for sure. Jay's currently running just ahead of Cobb. But Cobb's keeping that gap at around a second to him. Ricky having a look to the inside there on Charlie. You're not going to make the move from there, Ricky, I'll tell you. But one thing I'm very impressed about so far, Ryan, is that they all seem to have kept it really clean around a track where it's very uncompromising and easy to make mistakes. It's looked really solid from these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we would expect a crash or two, because obviously being a street circuit and being one of the tightest tracks that we are racing on. Overall, throughout the whole leagues that we're racing on, this is the tightest track, so we're going to expect to see a couple of incidents in the first few laps, but we're onto lap 3 already, and we're not seeing major crashes. Obviously, we saw Jay spin around slightly. We didn't see what happened to Ozzy, because Ozzy was up in P6 at the start, and he's now down to P12, so obviously there must have been some contact somewhere. Where is Ozzy? There he is there. Which, from the point of view, he doesn't actually look to have any front end damage, nor does he have any rear end damage. So I guess he might have got tapped round. Yeah,
must be the only thing I could think of as well, to be honest. John Boy's got a gap at just over 2 seconds to Lightblade. John Boy was half a second quicker and continuing to pull out that gap at the front. You've got Cobb still trying to hassle Jay. But the two leaders just under 2 seconds apart at this point. 11, if you're currently watching the stream, guys, smash that like button if you're watching right now, if you're enjoying the stream, if you appreciate what these guys are doing. We've got big contact. Smokey in the wall, and he's going to lose a few places here. Smokey's got, I think Avo Afonso might have got caught up with Smokey as well. But Deku up into P10, and Smokey losing quite a few places here, down to 11th place, as he's got Ozzy Albi looking to his outside through Portier. I think it was a collision. Was it with Charlie or Connor? Oh, it was with Ricky.
I think it was Ricky P, because Ricky P's got damage to the front end. Connor's got slight damage. and Charlie's got
Yeah.
none. So I would probably say it was Smokey and Ricky P.
Part Pooper Rex and
Which,
Charlie look pretty close to Smokey there, trying to stay out of Aussie Albie's way. But Part Pooper's got his hands absolutely full here. Charlie Goff seems to be on a bit of a mission right now as he cuts the swimming pool chicane there massively. Did Part Pooper Rex gets away with it, I think, but he will probably get a slowdown for that. Whether or not he'll be able to serve it in a place where it's not going to affect him too much, we'll have to see. But Charlie now on the back of him, and you can see this is a bit of a train forming here behind Part Pooper Rex. Obviously, not an easy track to overtake Monaco, we all know that, but in the Clio it's significantly easier than it is in an F1 car. But for the time being, looks like Part Pooper Rex has got the measure of Charlie at this point. Connor and Ricky just sat there waiting in the wings, hoping they can maybe get involved in this battle and try and gain themselves some places. But these four have dropped well off of the top four at the moment. And in fact, the top two, John Boy and Lightblade, are pulled away from third and fourth. So you kind of got groups at the moment. Got the leader pulling away, and then you've got a group for you've got a couple of them battling for third and fourth, and then you've got this big group battling over P5.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like I was saying just before, John Boy, Light, and Jay are all battling for the championship. John Boy needs a win and the fastest lap here to be equal on points with Lightblade going into the second race tonight, which would be the halfway point of the season. He would be on equal points.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a big night for John Boy, but he's clearly been putting in the practice over the course of the last week, and he knows what he's doing around this track. He's raced here before, here in the Motive Leagues. I remember back in the day, we saw an amazing battle around this track between the only GM motor in Morgan. I was on track that day myself. I think I was about P4, something like that. But they were head and shoulders above the rest of us. And I remember me and John Boy were quite close.
Lightblade's been given a penalty.
Oh yeah, he has.
1 second.
1 second penalty there for Lightblade. But yeah, I remember John Boy was. It was like those two were a little bit quicker than us, but John Boy and I were trying to go after them in the late part of the race, and we were catching at points, but couldn't.
Charlie Goff is got ahead of Part Pooper Rex. All three of them got Part Pooper Rex. So Charlie Goff is now under pressure from Connor Boyland into turn one. I've forgotten the names. It's
Sandoval.
Sandoval, that's it. Sandoval coming up towards Casino here. He's got Connor all over the back of him here. And Connor's just going to have to just keep it behind and possibly make a move into the Nouvelle Chicane, which would probably be his best option as he's slightly out wide there.
Oh.
He's drifting, he could get a better exit.
Through well to recover
Casino, can he get down in towards Lowe's hairpin? Can he make a move? Or is Ricky P's trying to make a move on?
Oh, he's sending one. Connor's very, very deep and almost hit the wall there as they came through Mirabeau, but it looks as though Connor's got that covered off into the Lowe's hairpin, and Ricky can't come back on him or can't cut him back there. Part of the Rex seems to be losing a bit of time to these three at the moment, despite them battling. Doesn't seem to have an answer to them. Maybe he's got a bit of damage there on the car. But currently these three have an intriguing battle. They're losing time to the leaders, but they are battling over P5, so some great points on offer for these positions that they're currently in at the moment. Lightblade's pulled the gap down to 2.4 seconds to John Boy, but obviously with that 1 second penalty, he will have to not just get past him, but he'll also have to put out a gap of over a second to him. But currently the battle for P5 is still raging on. Jay has got Cobb still within a second of it with a big slide there from Jay coming out of the swimming pool chicane. Keeps onto it, kept it out of the wall, but that was a close call there for Jay, and he won't want to be doing that too often.
No, definitely not. I mean, Jay's another driver that is competing for this championship. Just like John Boy, he's 7 points away from... John Boy's 7 points away from Lightblade. Jay's only 8 points away from Lightblade. So he needs to get a better result here. He needs to get ahead of Lightblade to close that gap to 3 seconds, but he'll also have to close the gap to John Boy in the second race and try and get a better result.
The fascinating thing about this right now is that with John Boy leading the race, he's got obviously 5 more points than Lightblade. If John Boy can get the fastest lap, he'll be tied with Lightblade on points going into the next race, the feature race of tonight. So if it stays as it is right now and John Boy's able to get the fastest lap, which at this rate it looks like he might not because Lightblade's flying, but if he can...
Let's have a quick look on timing if game works. Does it say fastest lap? Best lap so far is John Boy.
Yeah,
45.8.
Yeah, so he's setting a blistering pace out the front, and he had a clear air at the start, which has definitely allowed him to do that. But Lightblade, to be fair, is running in pretty much clear air at the moment in P2. Hasn't really got much going on in front of him. But you can see here Connor's still really close on the back of Charlie. Cobb still trying to find a way through ahead of Jay, but Jay's holding his ground at the moment. I get the feeling that this isn't really a track that Jay enjoys, and tonight it's going to be pretty much about damage limitation for him. John Boy obviously looking to kick on as Deku's disconnected. Deku is disconnected from the session. He's out. We've lost Deku midway through his sprint race.
Ricky P's just made a move on Connor Boylan there as well.
Yeah. So
Ricky P's now into P6. He's now going to try and close on to Charlie Goff and get a
oh,
little bit of contact there.
massive lock up from Ricky as he goes into the back of Charlie. But Lightblade's gained 4/10 on John Boy in that last lap. So the man on the move is Lightblade. Oh, here we go.
Who's going to get it into turn one?
Here goes Ricky. Send him one. Send him one down the inside. Charlie gives him the space, gives him a bit of a tap on the rear as Ricky squeezes through. But that's job done there for Ricky as he's been sat on the back of them for quite a number of laps now.
It might not be. Charlie Goff looking around the outside.
Oh, he moved across a little bit. Yeah, that could have very easily ended in tears. They both had to counter steer
he's
down.
ended in tears.
As Conor squeezes through, and maybe Part Pooper might be able to squeeze through as well. As Part Pooper moves ahead of Charlie, but can't quite get ahead of Ricky. But here we go, side by side. Side by side in towards Mirabeau. Side by side into Mirabeau as we can see Part Pooper trying to make the move here on Ricky. Ricky goes deep. Part Pooper looking around the outside into the lows. Hairpin. Ricky just squeezing him to the outside. Part Pooper can't get it done. Ricky holding on, but that's given Corner absolute clean air and a bit of open space here in P5. Oh, Part Pooper into the barrier. Yeah, that's he's going to have damage. He's going to have big damage down the front of that car for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that battle was getting very intense, but we now got a battle further back slightly between Ozzy and Alfonso.
Yeah, certainly have. Alfonso right now is trying to keep Ozzy behind him. This is the battle for P9. So neither of these two had the race that I think either of them would have been hoping for tonight, but nonetheless, they're going to be giving it everything for these placings. As we've got Jay here currently in third place, still ahead of Cobb. These two have been tied at the hip since the beginning. They haven't quite got the pace of the top two, but they're certainly got the pace over the rest of the pack here tonight. The top four in a bit of a league above the rest of them, but John Boy and Lightblade in another league above that. You've got superstar status from John Boy and Lightblade around this Monaco track, and then you've just got simply very good from these two.
Lightblade is closing massively on John Boy in the first
Not
sector.
on the last lap. Not on the last lap, but yeah, he's much quicker in the first sector because the gap's gone down over the course of this lap so far. John Boy was slightly quicker on the previous lap, but Lightblade once again coming back at him. The general trend at the moment is Lightblade is closing in, but it is ebbing and flowing. It's not a one-way street at the moment. John Boy is responding.
Alfonso is all getting hot and sweaty now with Ozzy Albi all over the backside of him. Ozzy trying to make a loop down the inside at Casino. Is he going to be able to make the move, or is he going to have to make a move in towards that low hairpin?
He might have a look in coming into Mirabeau, but he's slightly too far back at the moment.
Oh, Alfonso's taking a tighter line. He might be able to help Ozzy here with. But yeah, we go. Ozzy might make the move through the Lowe's hairpin, side by side, coming out the Lowe's hairpin.
Brilliant racing there. Oh,
Alfonso all over the curb there and just jumping onto two wheels. Is Ozzy going to be able to get the better run out the corner? Yes, he is. Into the tunnel he goes, and he is going to be ahead of AVU Benny, and into P9 he goes.
Great stuff there. The gap's still 2 seconds between the two leaders, John Boy and Lightblade at the moment. As we've got Part of Rex is trying to get back onto the rear of Ricky here. These two have dropped off of the back of Connor. These three, in fact, Charlie, Ricky, and Part Pooper still battling out over 6th, 7th, and 8th places. Jay's currently still got Cobb right behind him, but Cobb, I think, is the quicker driver at this point. He just can't seem to find a way through. He's not quick enough to get around him, but he's quicker.
I mean, if you look at his last couple of laps, he's been setting faster lap times than Jay. So he should be able to make a move if he gets right on the back of him, which will probably be...
Oh, bit deep coming through...
You help him out through Casino coming down towards... forgetting this name. I'm forgetting all the corners' names.
Mirabeau.
Mirabeau, yeah. So,
Gap under 2 seconds. Gap under 2 seconds at the front. Lightblade's gained a bit. John Boy was a tenth quicker on that previous lap. Lightblade is quicker through the first sector, and this is bizarre. I can't understand. I do not understand what's going on with the top two. If you look at the top left of the screen, you can see John Boy and Lightblade. The gap's 2 seconds right now. Through the first sector, every lap, Lightblade's gaining on John Boy, and yet in qualifying, John Boy was the star of Sector 1. He was 6/10 quicker than anyone through Sector 1 in qualifying, but Lightblade seems quicker than him over the course of the race. As all a bit deep there from Park Pooper, Ricky nowhere to go into the Lowe's hairpin. Through Portier they come, and it's still as you were between these two. But last couple of laps, John Boy's just eked out a couple of tenths on Lightblade. So far in this lap, I think Lightblade's taken about half a second out of him. But as we're still watching these guys still battling it out over 6th, 7th and 8th places.
Let's not count it out, but Aussie is
Gap down
slowly
to 1.5.
Can he close it before the end? Oh, that's a cut from Poppy Bricks there.
Yeah, he'll get done for that because obviously track limits are on. We're putting them on just for this round. They'll obviously be off for most of the races here this season. In fact, they'll be off for every race other than this one. But we thought there's literally like no downside to having them on here because you can't run wide. It's not like you can. It's not like it improves the racing running wide here. If you run wide, you're in the wall. So it's basically track limits on doesn't really make any difference apart from stopping people from straight lining the chicanes. That's obviously the good thing about having them on. So we thought we should probably put them on. But nonetheless, Jay's still keeping Cop behind him, and he's pulled out about a second of a gap so far on this lap. Lightblade, though, Ryan, was almost a second quicker than John Boy on that last lap. Lightblade's obviously got the 1 second penalty, but if he can get ahead of John Boy and pull out a second of a gap, or on the flip side, if John Boy were to get a penalty under pressure from Lightblade, which is possible, that gives them an even playing field once again.
Definitely. I mean, I just noticed that going through the Lowe's hairpin, the Lightblade gained like 5/10 of a second.
Yeah, he's chipping away at the moment, as he just looked like he was on the limit of track limits coming through the Nouvelle chicane. I wonder if he'll get buzzed for that.
They were both on the track limits.
It wouldn't surprise me if both of them get buzzed for that one.
Definitely. I mean, let's just double check the penalties. It's still 1 second for Lightblade.
Yeah, he's got the gap down to 1.1. That gap is now pretty much nothing between John Boy and Lightblade. Lightblade could probably smell whatever it is that John Boy's got in the boot, but currently Jay's still got Cobb really on his chuff at the moment as Ricky there is losing out to Charlie. Charlie running outside to Nouvelle chicane. Ricky, a bit of a lock up there as he tried to come across at him. Charlie goes deep and cuts the corner massively. Yeah, he's surely going to have to give that place back, you would think. Is he going to try and get away with it? No, he's going to let both of them pass there. Charlie losing out to Ricky and Park Pooper. Park Pooper up into P6.
This is bringing Aussie into this as well. Aussie is onto the back of these with 2 laps to go.
He was 2 seconds quicker on the last lap, was he, Howie? He's flying. And he could sense out of nowhere, really, in this race. He could get a P6.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in those last 2 laps, he is closed from 6 seconds to 2 seconds. Under 2 seconds now, onto the back of Charlie Goff. So he might be able, Charlie Goff might be able to grab onto the back of Park Pooper Rex here and Ricky and be able to tow a little bit.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, Ricky P, they're cutting the corner massively.
Yeah, he really was. The gap now up to 1.8 seconds between John Boy and Lightblade. Lightblade's got another penalty, I can tell, because he was not 1.4 seconds slower on the last lap.
He's 3 seconds now.
Yeah. So I could tell because he had to have got a penalty there because he did not lose 1.4 seconds on that last lap. Now, obviously, on Project Cars 2, it doesn't just add the time to your race time; it also adds the time to your lap time. So the 1:47.6 from Lightweight on the last lap would have actually been a 1:45.6, but he got an additional 2 second penalty on that lap, which meant that he is now he's now got pretty much no chance of taking this win. Jay and Cobb still battling it out.
Cobb's is waiting for the last lap and making a move on Jay, or is Jay just better in some corners than Jay?
I think you have a point. I think maybe he's been trying to keep it cool, trying to keep his options open and keep his cards close to his chest, and maybe on the last lap he's just going to go for it. You know, nothing to lose at that point. Might as well just go out in a blaze of glory, and if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But
on to the final lap, is that Charlie looking down the inside of Ricky P there?
He's all over him right now. Charlie there, having little looks everywhere. Aussie Albie's right there, isn't he? But I think he might have just arrived at this party a little bit too late, as these guys are about to come out to the final lap. Charlie there, bit of a lock-up coming through. Raskas into Anthony Noakes. They come now, and he's right on the back of him, ready to pounce. But Aussie Albie will be sensing maybe a couple of positions gained here on this last lap. Maybe if he can keep himself tidy on this last lap, we might be seeing a few desperate lunges coming through these final few exchanges here. But
just a little bit deep there.
Yeah, Ricky's got the run.
Park Paper Rex is going to have the run.
Ricky has got a massive run coming up the hill towards Casino. Round the outside we come as Park Paper's trying to cut with the inside line. Ricky's nowhere to go. Park Paper's got that inside. He's going to go deep as Ricky. Can he keep his inside? No, he can't. No, he can't. He has to back out on that one.
Can Aussie make a move here? Aussie might be able to make a move on two of them here into the final few corners.
Here goes Charlie. He's looking on Ricky, but Ricky's got it covered into Mirabeau. Where's the race leader though? Cobb's going for it. It's to back. Side by side into the back as Cobb's now sending one down the inside, and Jake isn't a space. Bit of a lock up there from Cobb, but Jay seems to have held on to that one just about by the skin of his teeth. As John Boy, I think, is going to be coming for the final few corners now. But Cobb was throwing the kitchen sink at Jay, and Jay's gone into the wall. Did he hold it? That's the question. I think he did just, but John Boy. Let's go to John Boy. John Boy's taking the win. John Boy has won here at Monaco for the sprint race here tonight for the Clio Cup Motive. Lightblade has taken second place, so it's 1 for John Boy, 2 for Lightblade, and Jay is going to hold on for the final podium spot here ahead of Cobb.
Aussie Albie's up to P7. Is Aussie Albie going to close onto Park Paper Rex in the final few corners?
I mean, I don't think so, but great driving from Aussie Albie on this last lap. He's picked off 2 drivers. We said he wasn't out of this. We said he could still make some gains here on this final lap, and Aussie Albie has done just that, as Codder, we believe, is coming around to take P5 in a moment. Yeah, there he is coming out of Anthony Noakes and up towards the line. So it's going to be 5th for Connor. Park Pooper a little way down the road from him is going to come over in 6th place. But wow, Aussie Albie has just nicked P7 from the depths of hell in that race. P7 for him, Charlie 8.
From P6 to P13 to back to P7.
Well done, Aussie Albie. Hats off to you, sir. Charlie Goff takes P8 ahead of Ricky in 9th place. Abo Alfonso comes round to finish in P10. Smokey Devil will be round shortly. He's just coming into Raskas right now, minus his bonnet, and I'm sure that those repairs are going to be, they would have been costing him heaps of time in that race, but he's going to finish in P11. And DJ Phil coming through the swimming pool chicane is going to be in P12 here tonight. But what a sprint race that was, guys. Emma there in the comments saying, come on, Aussie. Well, to be fair, Emma, he started off badly, but he recovered it quite well. So, Aussie Albie, we're expecting big things from you in the second race. But the thing is, now you're starting mid-pack, so you've kind of got to do it all over again.
The thing is, he's got a better run into the start. He's not got to deal with the fast boys, but may have not qualified as good as him, behind him. And John Boy, the best starter that we had in race 1, he's going to be at the back.
Yeah, so it's going to be an opportunity.
John Boy taking the fastest lap as well. So that is equal points for Lightblade and John Boy going into the second race.
Yeah, you couldn't write this. This is absolutely brilliant here. Jay losing a few points, but still right there in contention in the championship battle, finishing P3 tonight. Cobb in P4 obviously joined the Clio Cup series a bit late. He's in contention for the Touring Car Championship on a Thursday night, but joined this series a few races in, so he's not really in that fight. Connor Boylan taking a really impressive P5. Look at the top 4, though. The top 4, 30, 40 seconds clear of everybody else. I'll tell you what a stellar drive there from John Boy, Lightblade, Jay, and Cobb, but especially John Boy and Lightblade. Yeah, guys, stick around because we'll be back for the feature race very, very shortly. We'll have a reverse grid based on the championship standings. Not an easy track to overtake. It's going to be a recipe for either a disaster or an absolute cracker. Find out which one after the break.